So on this next one, I could use quotient rule, or I could rewrite it to a -1 power. And since I like using power rule, I'm going to try this way. Quotient rule would work too, but I like being able to power down. It's a little bit easier for me. So I'm going to ask myself, what's the chocolate inside the coating? Remember, using the whole analogy of it's an M&M, and we want to start with the outer shell first. So I'm going to power down. So my -1 comes down in front, and now I have a -2 exponent. And so I took care of the outer shell. And then I'm going to take the derivative of the inside the bubble, aka the chocolate part, which would be 2t minus 3. And then I'm going to conjoin these pieces that are together on the outside. And since that's a negative exponent, I'm going to put it in the bottom. So I'll have -2t plus 3, because I multiplied the -1 by both. And then on bottom, I have t squared minus 3t minus 1 quantity squared. There's my first derivative, and I used chain rule. Isn't that awesome? Who likes peanut M&Ms? I do, I do. Okay, well that's good, because this one is like a peanut M&M. So the outer shell, of course, is the exponent, and this would be the chocolate. But then, it's more than just a plain old sign of x. Now it's a sign of 3x. So what I have right here is a peanut inside the chocolate of the M&M. So I've actually got 2 inners, separate inners. I'm going to work my way in. So, and oh yeah, just in case you forgot, this notation that I had to start with is the same as if I put the squared outside. So that's why it looked like it was in blue to start with. Okay, so first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to power down that 2. And so now that exponent out here will be a 1. And then I'm going to look at the chocolate inside, which was sine of 3x. Okay, so derivative of sine is, that's right, it's cosine. So it'll be cosine of 3x. And then I'm going to look at the peanut inside the chocolate, and I got to take the derivative of 3x, which is 3. And so I'm going to join my coefficients. So I'll have 6, and then sine of 3x, cosine of 3x. And that's my first derivative. I would suggest as you're going through these that you stop and kind of do it over again in your head by yourself, just so that it starts to stick, because watching me do a million of these is not going to make you really good at doing derivatives using chain rule. But going over them again will. Again, on this next one, I'm not just doing sine of a plain x, I'm doing sine of something x. So that's the chocolate, and the outer shell is just my sine. So when I do the outer shell first, the derivative of sine is cosine. So it'll be cosine. That is a cosine, not a cog. And then I want to take the derivative of the inside, derivative of the chocolate. Well, remember, if that said 3x or 7x or 4x, the derivative would just be the coefficient. And then, of course, I like to have all coefficients in front. So this is really pi and then cosine of pi x. There's my first derivative.